We bowl things off with some cricket as cricketer John Campbell has received a reduction of 2 years and 2 months on his 4-year suspension for evading and failing to submit a urine sample. The 30-year-old Campbell, who received the ban in October 2022, will now be eligible to return to competitive cricket in July or August of this year. The ruling by the Court of Arbitration for Sports (CAS) found Campbell did not deliberately try to evade. The court says the issue was out of negligence on Campbell's part. CAS also, in their ruling, says it didn't find Campbell to be a cheat. We now join Wayne Walker at the Jamaica Conference Center in downtown Kingston for the JCA election between incumbent President Wilford Billy Heaven and First Vice President Dr. Donovan Bennett. Wayne, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Alric. You're right. We're here, conference room 4 at the Jamaica Conference Center. Well, they're on a break at the moment, a lunch break. In fact, the business session, if they flew through it very, very quickly. 12 items were on the agenda, and they were about to enter item number 12, which is the most important one, I suppose. And they've decided that they'll go for lunch before that all-important taking of the elections. We did say 99 delegates are scheduled to vote. Well, it's going to be 97 because Lloyd Barnett and, of course, the Jamaica Visual Cricket Association, they will not be voting. Not sure if they have proxies here, but 97 delegates instead of 99 are now officially scheduled to vote. One of the key things coming out of the business session, John Crowhorse, who has been the auditor for the Jamaica Cricket Association for the last 20 years, the JCA president, Wilford Billy Haven, in his address to the Congress, did mention that they are now going in a different direction. After 20 years, they believe that they want to go somewhere else. It's the 20th general meeting of the JCA, and I can tell you, the who is who in local cricket, they're all here at the moment. And I tell you what, the election is now in the hands of the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. They're scheduled to get back inside the room at about 1:15. They're having lunch at the moment. I've grabbed the Weeper Secretary Wayne Lewis is right here with me, and what it is to have him, having seen the lead story that you read just now, Alric, about John Campbell. But let's, Wayne, thanks so much for joining us on Nationwide. Just want to quickly get your impression of how quickly, I mean, it was really swift this morning, the business session.
Hello, Wayne. Hello to all your listeners. Good afternoon. I'm very surprised. I've been to a number of AGMs, but it's almost like everyone is just here and the anticipation is right inside of the room. It's almost like everyone is so interested in getting to the voting session. And because of that, we saw, they moved through so quickly to get to the stage where we're taking a break for lunch and just going back. I think they're going to deal with any other business and then go straight into the voting session. So I'm very surprised how quickly it moved this morning.
Well, what's your view on what's happening, though? Because we were discussing it yesterday, even in our sports department, how this election was so quiet. Not a lot of people, it crept up literally, because up to yesterday, a lot of people didn't know that the election was going to be here today. But based on what you've been hearing, Billy, Dr. Bennett, how is it looking for you?
Well, the cricket fraternity was very up in arms about it. They're excited about it, and they're preparing. There's been a lot of campaigning going on behind the scenes. It's just that the media got wind of it at the last back end, and they are moving it forward. I mean, it's tension. Tension is there. I mean, the anticipation is that Dr. Bennett will upset the incumbent Billy Haven. And of course, Billy Haven seen demonstrating some level of confidence as well. But I know even at this moment, there are campaigning going on right in the room where persons are talking to persons, trying to get them, join them in their philosophy and so on. But at the moment, as I said, I don't know if it's 50-50, but the tensions are high. But Dr. Bennett seems to be very confident that he'll win.
Finally, I know you're not a body language expert, but this election, when I entered the room this morning, it reminded me of the year when Clemson Boxing beat Captain Horace Burrell for the JFF presidency. The body language, when I walked into that ballroom, at the time it was Starfish, now Royalton, Captain Burrell was standing in the middle of the room, and he cut a lonesome figure. Billy, after the business session was over, looked that way. He reminded me of Captain Burrell. I shook the hands of Dr. Bennett a short time ago, and I said, "How's it looking?" He said, "I'm good, man. I'm good. And then now he reminded me of Clemson Boxhill. Now you're saying it looks as if that's the direction it's going to go.
I'm just saying, as you talk about body language, it's hard to really look at Billy and make a determination because he's always been very, very, what do I say? Docile all the time, very quiet, very unassuming at times, but he's a calculator. Don't take him lightly. When he doesn't talk, he's behind the scene working. And maybe, who knows, maybe he's confidently and quietly confident of victory, but of course, you never know when one goes behind the box. you don't know what's going to come out of it. But as I said, talking to persons, delegates, and so on over the time, I'm carrying the vote for Kingston Cricket Club as well, and we have a mandate. I can't tell you what our decision is, but we have been given a mandate by the board of Kingston Cricket Club as to who we ought to vote for. We'll be voting for today. But at the moment, Dr. Bennett seems to be very confident, quietly, cautiously, but at the same time, being able to seem like a pensive, but you never can tell because he's such a strategist. So let's see.
Weeper Secretary Wayne Lewis, thanks so much for stopping by.
Pleasure, Wayne.
All right, so that's Wayne Lewis, the Secretary of the West Indies Players Association. Aldrich, I'm going to hand it back to you, but I can tell you the tension here in Conference Room 4 for the JCA's 20th annual Congress is palpable. You can cut it with a knife, brother. Let's see how it goes. Let's get back into the room at 1:15 to start voting. It's going to be really, 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 really crucial.
Okay, thank you, Wayne. We continue with cricket as the pitches used in the United States at this summer's Men's T20 World Cup will have had quite the journey when the first ball is bowled at the tournament, being transported over 14,000 miles. They have come in by ship from Adelaide in Australia via Florida as organizers run a major global cricket tournament in the USA for the first time. Matches will be played at bespoke venues in New York, Texas, and Florida. The opening game between USA and Canada and the biggest game of the group stage in India versus Pakistan will both be played in the States. There are 16 matches being played in the US, with the other 39 being held in the West Indies. Adelaide Oval pitch curator Damien Hough says getting the States ready for cricket is quite the undertaking, especially when it comes to preparing cricket pitches.
We're attempting to produce a pitch. I'll never promise what we're going to do. I can let you know what we're attempting to do. Our aim is to produce a pitch that has consistent bounce and that the players can play their shots. So we want good pace bounce, players to play their shots. You want entertaining cricket. There are challenges there. You have to remember that the trays were built in December, so they're only going to be 5 months old. But what we do know is the consolidation process during that period has been exceptional. We took our time. We made sure during that process we consolidated at every layer. So every 2 inches we were consolidating that. So almost preparing a pitch as we're going because we needed to fast track the maturity of the pitch. So we're really comfortable where they sit.
Damien Hough. Now on to athletics as Woolmer's girls are through to the final of the 4x100 meters relay on day one of the 28th staging of the Penn Relays at Frank Field in Philadelphia today. Woolmer's quartet of Michaela Garden, Tiana Marshall, Natrice East and Abigail Wolfe advanced after posting 46.72 seconds to win their heat. Meanwhile, Edwin Allen High, Alphonsa Davis and Homewood Technical all qualified for the final of the girls 4x800 meters. Edwin Allen posted 9 minutes of 04.67 seconds to win their heat and advance as one of the 12 fastest teams. Alphonsa Davis High finished third in their heat in 9 minutes 06.25 seconds, and Homewood Technical ran a time of 9 minutes 18.65 seconds to finish second in their heat. Now on to football as Emirhan Akuch and Yalin Dilek scored 2 goals each to help host Turkey to a 10-0 whipping of Jamaica in the UEFA Under-18 Friendship Tournament yesterday. Cavaliers' Orion Watson scored the consolation goal for Jamaica. This was the young Reggae Boys' second straight loss of the tournament. They went down 2-1 against Saudi Arabia in their opening encounter. The race for the English Premier League title continues today when reigning champions Manchester City hit the road to face Brighton at American Express Stadium in London. City, who have 2 games in hand, including today's, are currently in third position with 73 points, 4 behind leaders Arsenal and 1 behind Liverpool. The Citizens can leapfrog Liverpool into second after the Reds lost ground on Wednesday following a 2-0 defeat to Everton at Goodison Park in the Merseyside derby. Meanwhile, Brighton and Hove Albion are 11th in the standings with 44 points. City manager Pep Guardiola says they'll have to win all the remaining matches if they are to retain the title.
I think it's a big success for both clubs, 2 years in a row being in the FA Cup final. It's a big success and I have time to prepare that game. Still we have 6 finals in the Premier League and after you have 1 week to prepare the final. They give us a chance. The fact that they lost the last weeks against Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. But we know exactly what we should do then, before that games and now. We have to be all games to be, at the end, have a chance in our hands to, to retain the title. So nothing changed in the fact that what we should do before and now, nothing changed.
Pep Guardiola. Finally, in basketball, the Miami Heat caused an upset against top-seeded Boston Celtics to level their Eastern Conference NBA playoff duel last night. Underdogs Miami, who suffered a 20-point thrashing in the first game of the series, recovered to earn a 111-101 road victory. The Heat torched the Celtics with 23 three-pointers, too shy of the NBA playoff record. Tyler Hero sank 6 three-pointers and added 14 assists, with all 5 Heat starters posting double-digit points.